Because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
You thought the game was over, but it's only just begun.
Welcome to MS Gronona Safe. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, we have got some news, okay? Nothing is official yet, but behind the scenes at Lionsgate, there is some rumors going on about the Saw franchise. Now, from the VR Scooper on Twitter, got some information on really moving ahead on, obviously how good, Saw 10 has done really well in the box office, which we will talk about later in this video. And guys, we could be getting 2 Saw films. Now, this isn't official yet, but behind the scenes at Lionsgate has indicated that Saw 11 will be another prequel film. I have mentioned Saw 11 could take place between Saw 2 and 3, which would give Mark Hoffman more of a spotlight, and the apprenticeship between the two of John Kramer and Mark Hoffman would really take off. Amanda during this time is still fully pledged to Jigsaw, and we could see more bumps in the road leading to why Jigsaw put her in her own game in Saw 3. Obviously not giving full chances to some of the victims in these traps that were inescapable at some points, obviously killing Adam, some things that really didn't sit with Jigsaw and felt like she deserved another chance to really prove herself and to change her ways, which we kind of already know how that ends. I think they could connect the dots perfectly with another prequel like this, having Amanda, Mark Hoffman, Jigsaw, having just, kind of seeing more of the relationships evolve and deteriorate at the same time. I really can't see that Saw would take place between any other 2 movies. Between Saw 2 and Saw 3, this is where Jigsaw is getting sick and more of wheelchair written by this time, and maybe we could see how he became wheelchair written. Maybe something happened, and they could show some in-depth scenes of really how more sick that he does get because of this brain cancer, and kind of just see him deteriorate a little bit in this film, but still have another game that's going on behind the scenes where everything is controlled and something in secret that maybe we didn't see regarding a specific story that could really take place, that could really shine this thing out of the box really well. But not only Saw 11, we might be getting a Saw 12. Now, the last and final installment of the sets of movies would be Saw 12. The movie is rumored to be the last Saw movie of the timeline. Now, this does not mean that Saw movies won't release with brand new characters and story in the near future. Saw 12 would continue and be a sequel to Saw the final chapter to end the Mark Hoffman quote-unquote storyline. Yes, Mark Hoffman escaping from the Saw bathroom, seeing Dr. Gordon in another film, and, kind of getting some closure onto the story of Mark Hoffman and kind of what else goes on during this time when Mark Hoffman is on the run. The question is, does this make any sense? Now, back in 2010, Kevin Grucher revealed Mark Hoffman was officially dead, but things could change over time. Time for time and moment for moment, Mark Hoffman needed a backup plan in case Jigsaw turned on him. So if he was ever shackled, he would have the ultimate escape plan. Mark Hoffman has seen the Saw bathroom plenty of times and knew where this was plenty of times during these movies, as we saw, flashbacks when he was helping out in the Saw 2 traps. Over time, that house was redecorated. Mark Hoffman 100% knew about this bathroom, which kind of makes me think that because of what was going on with him, where he stood with Jigsaw really from the end of the 4th movie, where, the autopsy scene at the end where Mark Hoffman is literally being blackmailed or threatened by Jigsaw that the games have just begun, that Mark Hoffman was literally the only survivor of the apprentices, and it was going to be Jigsaw's final moment to get rid of Mark Hoffman once and for all. Some Saw fans might hate this idea, some are liking it. Me, I absolutely love it. I want to see Mark Hoffman have the spotlight on him in 2 more films, and why not? Going into Saw 12, you know that Jigsaw is not alive at this point, but I know they will involve Tobin Bell in some aspect in it. Maybe there was another secret game that we didn't know about, that if Mark Hoffman did indeed escape from the reverse bear trap in the Saw 6 film, and during that game, I think there was maybe something else that could have happened, that there was somewhat of a backup plan if Jill didn't survive, and if Mark Hoffman covered his tracks in the Saw bathroom and escaped from it. Maybe Jigsaw had something set up because he promised Mark Hoffman that he was going to be put through a game, and technically Jill putting Mark Hoffman in a bear trap wasn't his official game. It could have been, but I feel like maybe there's something they can add that kind of closes Mark Hoffman's story, and Jigsaw finally gets his revenge on one of his, you know, non-trusting apprentices. Another game could be in place for Mark Hoffman to finally end the Mark Hoffman storyline, where they can involve Tobin Bell a lot with more tapes, more videos, and they could do so much with this, and I am just all for it. Now, the next thing I want to go over is the budget and go over the numbers for Saw 10 from the box office. And man, did it do so well. $71 million. I mean, this is like, what, the 6th or 7th? I would have to say probably the 7th most highest grossing Saw film that we've seen. Really, from Saw 1 to Saw 5, they all went over 100 million. Jigsaw went over 100 million. So I wonder if Saw 10 is going to hit that $100 million mark. I don't know if it's going to, but for a $13 million budget, this film did fantastic, which I think more ideas are coming from Lionsgate that they could greenlight 2 more Saw films. Not official yet, but this is just really a good sign that this franchise is still alive. It's not dead, and fans just want more gore at this point. Tobin Bell is getting old. They can't wait another 3 years to greenlight another Saw movie. If they're going to make 2 more Saw movies, this thing has to be announced within the next year that it's going to get done. And obviously, Kevin Grutert, as a director, is the best director for this, okay? I think he knows Saw from the back of his hand, okay? He is not a fan of Saw Spiral and despises that film, which makes me more on board with him. But remember, Kevin was an editor for Saw for years since the first film, and finally directed 2 films in Saw 6 and the final chapter. I think Lionsgate kind of wants to keep a consistent director on this and the image, and keep the, you know, that knows how to treat Saw, knows what the fans want and don't want, and that's all that matters for us. I think they can make a Saw 11 and a Saw 12 much wilder, more gory, and I think you can connect the story really well from a prequel in between Saw 2 and Saw 3 and really continue this story with Mark Hoffman after the final chapter and really end this thing with Mark Hoffman's storyline, which I think is a perfect thing that they could do. Like I said, I don't think this is the end of the timeline for Saw movies in general, but I think between the John, Amanda, and Mark Hoffman storyline, I think this would finally end it and then kind of go forward with a brand new story, brand new Jigsaw type character in the future, and I think this is the way to do it. So I am all on board. I am ready to go, and I just want this thing greenlit already. If you guys enjoyed all the Saw content and are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you like the video as well. We will be coming out with more Saw news and more theories and more of the great stuff that we have been waiting for. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Keep running. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.